The morning air was crisp, carrying the earthy scent of my vast ranch. My day began like any other, checking fences, feeding the livestock, and ensuring everything ran smoothly. But today was different. Today, Karen from the HOA had crossed a line that even I hadn't anticipated. I had recently installed a new automated gate at the entrance to my property, complete with remote access and surveillance cameras. It was designed to prevent exactly what was happening: unauthorized entry. But somehow, Karen had managed to sneak in, likely using the master key she insisted gave her authority over my property. She had organized a so-called safari tour for her friends and other HOA members, turning my private ranch into a playground for people with no legal rights to be there. I received a call from my neighbor, barely able to contain their alarm. "They're out on your land. There are buffalo. And they're loose." I froze for a moment. Buffalo? My security cameras showed Karen opening the gate, leading a group of tourists into the pasture. My herd, accustomed to being left undisturbed, immediately noticed the intrusion. The largest bull pawed the ground, snorting loudly. The tour group screamed, and chaos erupted. Karen had underestimated the temperament of my animals and the consequences of her actions. I jumped into my truck, Titan, my K9 companion, ready at my side. The herd had begun moving in the direction of the gate, and if they left the pasture, they could cause serious damage or worse, harm people. Karen, blissfully unaware of the danger, was still attempting to guide her group closer to the buffalo. "Karen!" I yelled, my voice carrying over the commotion. "Get off my property now. Everyone, move back." She looked startled but didn't immediately comply. The tourists, panicking, scrambled in every direction. One of them tripped over a fence post and fell into the mud. Titan barked loudly, running in circles to assert control, while I sprinted toward the group. Karen finally realized the gravity of the situation. She attempted to call the HOA office on her cell phone, probably hoping they'd back her up. But the connection was poor, and no one came to her aid. The herd reached the edge of the pasture, and I knew I had to act quickly. I activated the automated gates from my remote access, sealing the perimeter. The buffalo, now confused and agitated, couldn't exit the property. Karen and her tour group were trapped on my land, with nowhere to go except the very path they had used to intrude. Their panic escalated as the bulls approached, not aggressively, but with enough presence to make it clear who was in charge. I approached calmly but authoritatively. "This is private property. You are trespassing. Leave immediately, or law enforcement will be called," I warned. Titan's growl underlined the seriousness of my words. Karen, realizing she was outmatched, scrambled to gather her group. The tourists were terrified, apologizing profusely, while Karen fumed silently, her face red with humiliation. I escorted them to the gate, making sure no one tried to sneak past the buffalo or cause further disturbances. Once they left, I inspected the area, ensuring no damage had been done. The gates were intact, fences unharmed, and the herd settled back into their normal routines. My property, as always, remained secure. Later, I contacted the local authorities and informed them of the trespassing. Karen's actions were documented, her attempts to manipulate access recorded, and the safety risks she created clearly established. Legal action was initiated to ensure she would think twice before ever entering my land again. The HOA received formal notices, reinforcing that my ranch was off-limits. By sunset, I walked the pasture, Titan by my side, the golden light reflecting off the waterholes. The buffalo grazed calmly, oblivious to the earlier chaos. My property, my rules, my control. Karen's ill-advised safari had only strengthened the perimeter, the security systems, and my resolve. Trespassing would no longer be a minor nuisance. It would be met with swift, undeniable consequences. That night, as I stood at the porch of my ranch house, looking over the fields, I felt a quiet satisfaction. Today had tested my patience and security, but the result was clear. No one, not even an overreaching HOA member, would dare challenge ownership of my land. My ranch, my rules, my herd, the perfect balance of power restored.